prior experience in sales.
It's like coming in and out. All right. So your question was the best way to land a role with no prior experience. I feel like this is
Yeah.
like a
in the
constant
morning and then
question
push.
everyone has.
No sales
Um,
background,
yeah, I'll
but I'm
say it
eager.
again. I'll say it again, and this is why I've put some videos out on it. But honestly, your first things first is you're just understand what the goal is. A lot of people first coming into remote sales, um, they're trying to go like they usually come in with the idea of making like 10K a month, 20K a month, working
Bit,
remotely, all the
bit too
benefits of
much.
remote sales. And it's like that's great because that's why people are in remote sales. Like anyone that's done it for years on end, if they couldn't make over six figures a year remotely from their house, like they wouldn't be in it for years on end, right? So
Yeah,
for the most
yeah,
part, right? Obviously depends on where you live. 6K, 5K a month is great in some countries, right? So
yeah.
without that possibility or without actually earning that after being in it for a certain amount of time, yeah, 100%. That's what you're going for, right? And that's why it's a great industry. But
Yeah.
no sales experience, never done any sales before, very first offer ever, probably not going to be that. You know what I mean?
No, no.
Um,
Work your way
and
up.
for most people, they're coming from typical jobs where it's like you land this job and that's
Yeah.
like your career for the next 2 to 5 to 10 years, and like I'm just locked in with this company. That's not really the remote sales space, you know? Now that can be for, people that are maybe working like tech sales and stuff like that. Like you can definitely, account executive, SDR, stuff like that. But even then, just even outside of this, typically people are changing jobs every couple of years. But in the remote sales space, the cycle might even be shorter, right? But for people that
Yeah.
are trying to get in for the first time, I always suggest that you take what you can get because you're just looking for the first person to give you a shot
Yeah.
so that you
Get the
can build your
experience.
track record, right?
Mm.
And experience, yes, but it's like you just need proof,
Yeah.
right? A lot of business owners, what they're looking for is like, has this person closed deals before? Has this person set appointments before? Does this person have a general sales structure? And it's very difficult to prove that without having zero offers, right? And I put out a video the other day on YouTube talking about building up like a portfolio and like making it look nice and pretty by chopping it up with different role plays and showing examples of your objection handling, showing examples of your discovery, of you framing the call and all that good stuff, which is great, but nothing beats cold hard facts of like this is how much appointments I've set, this is how much dials I've done, this is how many people I've talked to. So like in landing that for like there's so many businesses that want to hire reps, but because they only put out like a 1 to 3K a month OTE, all of the reps that like bought programs and were promised 5 to 10K plus a month just skip over those offers.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, just go pick up one of those. You could pick up multiple of those to make 5 to 10K a
100%.
month if you really wanted to. But
Yeah.
go work with a solopreneur that doesn't really have it all together. Now, if you're in a place where it's like the role needs to like feed your family, then obviously not. But,
Yeah.
most
No.
people are like living with their parents or they don't have a lot of bills or they're working a full-time job and they're just like they're okay to pick up something part-time, to build the
Yeah.
track record.
That's my situation currently. I mean, I've got 6 months left in an apprenticeship in joinery, like carpentry area. But for the past, yeah, 3, 4 months, I've found remote closing and setting. It's really interested me. My plan is once my apprenticeship finishes to go travel around a bit. But the
Hmm.
idea of having an online income where I can just open my computer is sounds great. So it's just trying to find a role, a half decent role, which would allow me to do that in the next 6 months or so.
Well, the most freeing role you can get is like DM setting.
So
Just
appointment
be just
setting.
being an appointment setter over DMs. Like that's the most you want to travel the world, and have
Yeah,
a role where you can just travel. Don't get me wrong, you can do that with like closing. You can do that with setting. You can do that with any role. But I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
bro, you could be at the park setting deals on your phone. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah. Something
So
like
there's
that.
also that to look at. But at the end of the day, if it was me, zero experience, jumping in, fresh, I would do what I said in those videos. First thing I would do is I would just do some role plays and get some examples that I can close you know I would cut out
Yeah,
like I would cut out frame the call. Then I'd cut out discovery and really diving deep into pain. I'd cut out a section where I'm, going through their goals, desires. Cut out a section where I'm going through consequence section, solution section. I'd cut out examples where I'm pitching. I would cut out examples where I'm handling every objection. Like maybe I'd have like one or two examples of pain of money objection, one or two examples of spouse objection, one or two examples of this, and I would just put together like a sick portfolio of me doing everything. I would even go and show that I can set deals as well. Do an
Yeah.
example of some triage calls. And then I would go pick up like a cold calling role part time. Like if I'm working, like if I was in your position, I'm working a job full time. I
Yeah.
don't necessarily need the money, but it'd be nice to have extra.
Yeah. Nice side
Um,
income.
I would go do like a cold calling job that like they're okay with me doing it like a couple days a week, like even if it's just weekends.
Yeah.
Again, if the more the better. But
Yeah.
sometimes, working 9 to 5 and then having to work another 3, 4 hours like that, plus you're learning and doing role plays, like it can get a lot. Some people overestimate how much they can actually do, but it can become
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe you start off doing some weekend only plus like 1 or 2 days throughout the week or something like that.
Yeah. A little bit of part.
Um, Start setting deals. After I set some deals, then, switch from setting deals to like I would start applying for roles, like I would apply for roles the whole time. Network, make sure I'm building my network consistently. LinkedIn allows you to do 100 connections a week. After you do that for a little while, it ups your limit to 200 connections a week. So I'd make
Right.
sure to just be connecting with business owners consistently. I
Yeah.
would have an engagement list that of like great offers. So for example, let's say I'm on like Rep Select or something, and I see all these offers that are doing like 10K OTEs plus 20K OTEs, 30K OTEs. I'm gonna, connect on LinkedIn with like the hiring managers, the sales managers, the CEO, and maybe once a week or every single day, I'm gonna go through my engagement list and just engage with all their content because maybe I can't land that role now, but if I engage with their content for 3, 4, 5 months, and then when they have an opening, now I'm DMing them, they remember my
Mm.
name, they remember my face, they're gonna
Good
respond to that DM
position to
because
be
I'm
in.
not just a random guy. They're like, oh, that's the guy that's commenting real value on my content. So while you're on your beginner offer, you're engaging with the bigger offers that you want to
Yeah.
land eventually, right? Because at the end of the day, most offers are landed through people like networking their way into the position,
Mm.
right? Not necessarily like, by the time they're on job boards, for a lot of the biggest offers, it might be too late, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I would land that beginner offer, do really well, record everything. Then I would start to swap out my portfolio from role plays to real calls, right?
Yeah.
So if I have like real objection handling scenario, if I do really well, I'm going to swap in that for my role play. Obviously, don't put like people's credit card information or stuff like that if you close the deal in your
Yeah.
portfolio, right? Um,
Yeah.
and then I would apply to roles by just reaching out. Like I would apply, reach out directly. Again, this whole time I'm constantly improving and making a better and better and better 1 minute video, you know? Um, and then from there, you should be able to land some roles. Should be able to land some roles, and the roles you'll be able to land will get better and better over time. And just expect for it to take a year or two to get to a place where you're doing 15, 20K plus a month, you know?
Yeah. It would be nice, but no rush for that serious amount of money. Yeah. I mean,
It's like, well, a
that's
lot of
the end
people are like,
goal.
if I'm not there in 30, 90 days to 6 months, it's like, oh, this is a waste. It's like, bro, I
Yeah.
mean, how
So,
much, like, do you go to college and within 6 months come out with making 200, 300K a year? No. So what are we talking about? Why aren't you willing to work for a year or two to build, to earn that? Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
100%. 100%.
Um, so yeah, just understand it's not a get rich quick thing. Like anyone that told you that is lying. And the people
Yeah.
with stories like that came in with prior skills and or experience,
Mm.
you know? So
Yeah.
that's what I would do.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I'm willing to put the time and the effort in. I understand it's not going to be easy with no sales experience previously, but I'm reading books, psychology and the art of persuasion, stuff like that. So hopefully that all comes in handy in the end goal. Yeah.
100%. 100%. Anything else?
Um, nothing comes to mind.
All right. What about you, Stefan? How can I help you, man?
Uh, Hi Ty. I don't know if you noticed, I bought a new camera. Is it better like this?
It does look better. Yeah, not as
Yeah,
blurry. Definitely better for sure.
Yeah, like just give me. Here it is with computer camera.
Yeah, yeah, the new one's way better for sure.
Yeah, it was
Way, way, way better.
50 bucks. So
Not
yeah.
bad for a $50 investment, man. Not bad at all.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the last time I show you my selfie video. I got the interview tomorrow, so
There
with
we
this selfie
go.
video.
There you go. You should
congratulations.
post that. You should post that as a win in the community and be like, hey, I changed my 1 minute video to this, and then I landed the interview. Yeah,
Yeah,
like that would be
yeah,
solid, man.
yeah. So today I watched you had an interview with some recruiter with Zach, if I'm
Yeah,
right.
Zach Brown. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I watched it, and tomorrow I have full day. I will do my research, and I know you have one video left, how to pass interviews. I will watch this as well.
Yeah, definitely give that one a watch. Give that one a watch. That'll be huge for passing that upcoming interview, man. For sure.
Yeah, so I applied for setter, so we will see.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah,
How you doing,
so that's
Joseph?
all. Sorry?
I was saying Joseph just jumped in, man. How you doing, man?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Is it your first time on one of these calls?
No, I was here last week. I didn't have camera on.
You know the camera on. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, anything I can do to help you, man?
Right now, I'm trying to just refine my 1 minute intro video. Um,
Okay.
I've been going through some of the uh, training that's on the school, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just have to record a couple of looms. I'll definitely. I was planning to do it today, but just didn't have time to get around it. But I'll probably post it in the community, and I'm definitely open to hear your feedback on it.
Cool. Well, we can go through and we can talk about what it should, could sound like as well right now if you'd like.
Let's see, let me pull up my what I got because I kind of had like a bit of
A little bit of a
a
script going.
framework. Exactly. Yeah, I just
Cool.
have to pull it up here. Where is it?
Yeah, and one thing that's really great to add to those 1 minute videos is I don't know if you saw that video where I talked about putting together a portfolio. That piece, adding that in, saying like, "Hey, I've got a portfolio with these things in it." That's another piece that will be huge for the 1 minute video if you start putting one of those together. If you don't have one yet, then obviously not adding it yet. But having that afterwards will be huge.
Like I have one question. Can you add on your portfolio, like let's say how you handle objections, how you find pain points and stuff like that?
Everything, everything. Yeah.
Everything.
So
Like let's say we
so
don't have, sorry to interrupt, let's say we don't have any real sales experience or have some numbers, so we can add just stuff from role play.
yeah, that's how you prove it. That's going to be the only way you can prove that you can
Yeah.
sell.
Mhm.
Like if I'm a business, like I've hired people, and if I'm looking at someone, if they say like I have no experience and they have nothing, like no role plays for me to listen to, what can I do? It's like
Yeah, yeah,
not that I wouldn't hire them. It's just if I've got 100 people applying and a bunch of them do have experience, they're just not going to be at the top of the list. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Unless all of the other people's 1 minute videos were that bad and theirs were that good, and that's really hard to compete against solely, right? That being said, I've also had people just like they send me role plays, right? And the other issue with them sending me role plays is I gotta like find the time to listen to the full hour and find what I
mm,
want, which is something I usually only do after I've interviewed. Like I usually pick one or two people or a couple people, interview them, and then from there, the people that I like, I then say, hey, can you send me some role plays? Right after that.
yeah,
So also, if you're just sending like hour long or 30-minute long role plays to the person, the odds of them like sitting there and watching it, they're probably not going to do that. But if I sent you a role play and it was like 5 minutes and it was like, this is an example of me handling this objection,
yeah,
like, dude, I'm going to be like, oh, easy. Like it's all segmented out for me. So anything I want to hear how you handle, I could just click and listen to. They're going to love that. Like I would love that. If someone applied to a sales job for me and they're like, "Hey, this is how I frame calls. This is how I do discovery. This is how I handle money objection. This is how I handle timing objections. This is how I handle fear objections. This is how I pitch. This is how I transition into the pitch. This is how I handle consequence section." Like I'm gonna be like, "Oh, beautiful. Let me click exactly what I want to hear it, be like, yeah, let me give this guy an interview. This guy's pretty good." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good. To have some structure, to not
Yeah,
waste
because
business
all of
owner's
those things,
time.
like you can send an hour-long video with all of those things, but now I gotta either listen to the whole thing or go through to find exactly what I want. It's like the odds of them taking the time to do that, your resume has to really like everything else has to really impress them for
Yeah.
them to be even
And it
willing to
looks,
spend that
yeah, it
time.
looks more professional, I think.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I put together the rep select page like that, where they can see the experience, they can see the role plays, they can see exactly what they want to see, and then make their decision super, super quick.
Awesome.
Cool, cool, cool. Um, yeah, Joseph, let me know if you wanted to go through that. Looks like he's looking
Um,
forward to pulling it up.
can I just say it? I guess
Yeah,
I'll
yeah, yeah.
probably
Go ahead.
some of it. Okay, so basically my experience is from an internship with a BizOp,
Hmm.
doing a DM setting, appointment setting. Uh, a lot of I would say as far as numbers go, 50% show rate. I would set at least 2 appointments a day. Um, and outside of that, I constantly doing self-improvements in terms of training. So did stuff with Bill Walsh, went through his training course and objection box. Tom Hopkins, what's the other thing? And those are the two that stand out. Obviously working with you as well. Going through the Closer College training material. And yeah, I'm basically interested in a setting role to kind of get started. One that actually pays. Obviously, I was doing more so of an internship, so that's what I got so far. Um, Interested in your feedback.
So when you say internship, what, like you didn't get paid commission on closes?
No,
Oh, that's interesting. How come?
it wasn't. Well, it was 100% commission basically. So it was
Yeah.
no base salary, and
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's typical. Most appointment setting gigs don't have a base.
and
So how many of your deal like so you set 2 appointments a day for how long? How many of deals closed? What are the numbers?
I didn't really do any sort of closing really. Most for the
No,
most
no, but
part.
how many of your appointments closed? Like how many do you set appointments? How many of those closed? Like how much commission did you get? You know?
Um, so yeah, that I don't even have the really. I don't have the numbers there as far as
Rough guess. You
um
remember like, hey, I set 2 appointments a day. On average, I'd get 2 closes a week. Like rough guess at all?
no, honestly, it was I'm almost embarrassed to say yeah, but no, it was just strictly just for the experience to kind of get
You
um
didn't track your numbers at all?
no, I was not
How do you know
in
what you're
that
getting
mindset.
paid?
No, it was an unpaid internship. It wasn't really um something that I expected to get paid for. I just wanted to um uh get the
What?
license. That was one thing I did get license. It was insurance sales, so I did get the license.
Oh,
Because
you're doing
they
like
did,
insurance sales.
yeah. So that was one of the benefits.
Like you were setting appointments for people to sell the person insurance.
Yeah, life insurance.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um, well, how long did you do it for?
it was mostly spare time, honestly. I
So like
still
you did
have
it
my
for a month, you did it for 2 months, you did it for 6 months. Like how long did you do it for?
say altogether a year.
Okay. How many appointments did you set in that year?
I average about 20 a month, schedule 20 appointments a month.
Okay. And where did you get the leads from? Or was it cold calling?
Mostly from LinkedIn.
So you were just doing cold outbound on LinkedIn?
Yeah, my DM, yeah, outbound DM setting.
Okay, cool. Any other info on it?
Um, got a ton of education on finances, I guess. Mostly learning the different types of insurances, which ones to avoid. Um, also, what else? There was definitely aspects of it. There's recruiting aspects as well. One of the main benefits was that why I was interested in the internship was that they did cover your licensing fees.
Mhm.
So um, got a license out of that for bare minimum. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much what I got. I'm trying to find a way to make it. I don't know if I can make it
Well,
sound
sell me
more.
on you, sell yourself. Come on, sell me. You got to convince me
Um,
that you're the guy to bring in, that you're gonna help me set appointments for my company. You're the best person for the job. Sell me, man. Pitch me on yourself.
Hi, my name is Gerald Joseph. I'd like to come on board with your company as an appointment setter. My main experience comes from an internship for BizOp, where I average setting 1 to 2 appointments a day. Um, and I think I could definitely add a lot of value to your company, help keep your calendars full. Also, I'm constantly in a mindset of self-improving. I take education seriously. Right now, I'm in Closer College with Tia Martin. I've done trainings with Bill Walsh and the Objection Box. I've also gone through extensively with Tom Hopkins training as well. I believe I could be a true asset to your company if you're interested. Shoot a reply back to me, DM me. I also have a couple of mock calls that you can check in the link below. And if you're interested, definitely let's set an interview, and I can do whatever you need me to do, whatever it's go through some mock role plays, or if you need to see a couple of um, different ah, I'm lost there. But yeah, reach out if you would like to know more. Thanks.
At the end, right there where you're smiling, I want to see that energy, right? I want to see you be more confident, more convicted in yourself, right? You're selling yourself. And when you're if you can't sell yourself, how can I expect you to sell my product or my service? So I want you to have more energy. I want you to be more convicted, more confident, because sales is about a transfer of energy. It's about a transfer of feeling, right? If you were more monotone, more relaxed, more like, I believe I could sell for you, then that's the energy you're conveying, and they're going to adopt that. And if someone else provides a stronger, convicted energy, they're going to go with that person, right? So I would present it maybe something like this. I'd be like, hey, Joseph, sending you this video because I'd love to work with you as an appointment setter. I have over a year of appointment setting experience for a biz off offer where I was able to set over 20 appointments every single month. Now, I've also done a lot of cold outreach on LinkedIn to set those appointments, done a ton of extensive training with Bill Walsh's Objection Box, Tom Hopkins, Ty's Closer College. I also have a bunch of mock calls proving my skill set. If you want to watch those, you just have to click the link below that I sent you with this video. I'm happy to jump on a call, showcase my skills, schedule an interview, see if we're a good fit for each other. I'm dedicated to growth. I know I can fill up your calendar, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And then I would like send them the video, like something like that, where you're just a little bit more confident, and just sure of yourself. You know what I mean? And just showcasing your communication skills. Because like it's not so much about what I'm saying. Yes, that's part of it. It's a big part of it, but a huge part of it is how does this person communicate? How would this person pitch my service? If I said, "Hey Joseph, here is my water bottle for my company. I want you to sell it to someone." And then you know, use more of like a way of selling it that's not exciting, a way of selling it that doesn't really convince much people, then obviously it's not going to sell. So if that's how you sell yourself, they're going to assume you're going to sell the product the same way. So I want you to be more confident in how you sell yourself. You know, you need to convince them on you. And that comes from your tone, your energy, everything. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna use that framework. And I think once I get the framework down, which what you mentioned, I'm definitely gonna work on body language and everything else. I think I need way more reps if to so
Oh, for
that
sure. This is not something you're going to spit out. You know, I'm going to say it once and I'm just going to nail it. And that's that. It's like just over and over and over again, just practice it till you get it, you know, because just like your pitch, you know, when you're on an offer, they're not going to give you the pitch and say, all right, get on a call. You've never practiced before. Go pitch the offer like a G. Like you're going to have to practice it, right? So practice your 1 minute video, get really good at it. Honestly, all you have to do, like everything you said was pretty much fine. You just have to add more energy and conviction to it, you know, add some life to it. And I think you're good, man.
I
You
appreciate
know,
it.
like cut out some of the ums and ahs and just be like, yeah, I am the guy and this is why. You know what I mean?
I had
Awesome.
another question.
Yep, go
Um,
ahead.
I'm still working on my setup as far as like I'm on my laptop and I'm not sure, does it come across well as far as one thing I'm trying to work on is eye contact. I feel like when I look at playback of different videos I record, I feel like my eye contact is not as good as I like it to be. Any tips on that? I got call it a laptop stand that goes up and down. I don't know any tips on what have you done to help improve your eye contact where it looks like you're looking directly at the person, especially if
Mhm.
you're someone like myself who I still rely on framework or script. Sometimes I have my script up. I don't have. I'm not at the place where I memorize everything yet. Maybe hopefully
Mhm.
I'll get to that point. But what's any suggestions there if you're still using the script, how to
Yeah,
still maintain eye contact?
like yours is pretty good. You know what I mean? Like right now, you don't, as long as you're not like looking at this screen here and trying to talk, like as long as it's not super off or if it's like super down like this or super up, like right now, as long as the camera's dead on, you're pretty good. To make it better, let's say I'm reading a script, right? So, you know, I have my notes. Let me pull up my notes right here. So I just pulled up my notes on my computer. I just drag the notes as close to the webcam as possible. So like my webcam is like right here and my notes on my computer is right here. So right now if I'm looking right at my notes, I'm looking close enough to the camera where it doesn't look like I'm necessarily reading, right? You guys can tell me if not. But right now I'm looking at my notes. Does it look like I'm, you know, necessarily like looking away, looking, but if I'm looking down like this or if I'm looking like this, maybe it looks like I'm reading something. You know what I mean? So you just want to, whatever it is you're looking at, just put it as close to the actual camera as you can. So like if your camera's just where most are, which is just center at the top of the screen, then just put your notes right at the top of the screen, you know? Or your and then like for me, for example, let me just like if I'm here, I'll show you what I usually do. Share screen here. Can you guys see the screen?
Yep.
So let's say I'm like on a sales call and I have my notes instead of like doing full screen like this, because what happens is you end up like looking at stuff and you're looking lower and lower down. I'll just put like the screen like that and then just scroll if I need to. And then that way I'm always looking at the top half of the screen, no matter if I'm reading notes or like when I'm writing notes on a sales call, I'll put it like right here as well. And, you know, I'll type it out or whatever I need to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
realistically, on sales calls, you shouldn't have your notes. Like, just get to the point. Like, just get to the no. You should have notes. You shouldn't have like a script. You know what I mean? Like, when you like, if you get hired for an offer in your first week, you should just be doing so many role plays that you just don't need the script anymore. you know, because you shouldn't be like word for word scripted anyway. The only thing that's word for word scripted on a sales call for the most part is like the pitch. And even that has sections where you say the scripted part, but then tailor it to the call. So there's really like, it's more of a framework, not a script. It's like, I just want to make sure I'm digging into the problem, then going into solutions, then goals, then, you know what I mean? It's not a script all the way down, you know? You just have to get comfortable with being present and saying, okay, I know that the first thing I want to do, like the first thing I'm here to do is understand what the heck's the problem here. Once I understand what the problem is, I want to know the frequency and how long that problem's been a thing. Then if it's like, then I want to figure out like how long, like what have you tried to kind of solve this? Then I want to figure out like clearly, like what's the goal here? Then after that, how important is the goal to you? Like what are kind of the consequences of not achieving the goal? Like what's at stake here? And then I'm going to transition into my pitch. Like that's the script. That's the script. Everything else is just, here's some decent questions that go into that. But it shouldn't be ask this, then ask this, then ask this, then ask this, then ask this, because you want your questions to be relevant to the way they respond, you know? But yeah, whatever it is you need to look at, just drag it up, put it as close to the camera as possible, and you'll be fine. Make sense? Like right now, the way you're looking at the screen is like it's fine. Sometimes, like when I'm pitching, sometimes maybe I'll just like look directly into the camera if I'm like actually pitching the service. But most of the time, I'm just again, I'm taking the Zoom box where you guys are right now, and I'm doing that same thing where I'm putting it in the top portion of the screen so I can see you guys primarily. Like the person I'm talking to, their screen is like right up beside the camera.
Yeah, I'm very like trying to be more mindful of that, like the eye contact. Because I think I don't know if it was you or what call it was, but I think you said something about eye contact, how it makes a whole big difference on how people interact with you. And I believe it is true because I'll look back at certain calls I've been on, and let's say the first half I'm maybe paying attention to the script or whatever I'm looking at. Um, and I'll notice the engagement from the audience is not the same versus, let's say, the second half where I was conscious about keeping my eyes on the webcam the entire time, and all of a sudden I notice people are just more engaging. Like if I ask them to do something, it's like, let's say if I'm in front of an audience of three people, maybe the first half nobody would. If I ask them, hey, can everyone raise their hand in the chat if this makes sense, and no one would respond. But then in the second half, when I'm actually looking at the webcam, I'll notice, and I say something that's like an engaging question, I'll notice everyone responds to it almost like, oh, he's actually speaking to me. Like, so I definitely think eye contact is big.
Yeah, simulating eye contact, it helps a ton. Helps a ton. Cool. Anything else I can help you with?
I wanted to talk about portfolio.
Mhm.
What would you recommend to have in our portfolio? Like if when we tell them, okay, click the link to check whatever, what should be in there?
Yeah, so just examples of each portion of the call. Um, whether you're an appointment setter, whether you're a closer, I would just, slowly build it up so that I have examples of both of everything. Um, but let's say I'm an appointment setter, because I think that's more relevant. I would have an example of how I kick off the call when someone calls in outbound dial. So like when you outbound dial people, there's a few things that happen. They answer the phone and they're super cool to just like get into a conversation. They answer the phone and they try to rush you off. Um, it's usually kind of like everything else can be fit into one of those two boxes, right? So I'd have an example of me calling someone and they're trying to rush me off and show how I handle that. Then I'll have an example of me calling someone and they're just cool to get into the call. And I have an example of that. And I would only have a clip like the first like few minutes. So it's a clip of me of showing how I handle those dials. Then I would have a clip of showing how I do discovery. So, maybe clip out the beginning. And if you did a good discovery on that call, you can say, like, you can just show the rest on it in a different clip where, hey, this is how I actually discover this person's pain points and like what they need help with, right? Then I'd have another clip of like, this is how I actually set the appointment, right? And then I have another clip of this is how I set the appointment when the person's hesitant to set the appointment. Like they're asking questions like, oh, do I have to pay for this? Or they're asking like different questions, right? Um, that's what I would do as an appointment setter. Like from there, you could add stuff in like, maybe this is how there's not too much with the appointment setting call, right? So maybe that would probably be like the only examples I have. And I'd probably have different examples of those. Then for the closing call, kind of the same thing, framing the call, the beginning of the call, and then I'd clip that out. That's like a minute or two. Then I would do a clip of me doing a discovery, really digging into pain and the problem, maybe 15, 20 minutes or so. Then that maybe I'd have another clip of me digging into like their goals, their desires, the things they're trying to achieve. It might be another, 10, 15, 20 minutes or so, depending on the person. Um, a clip of me going over like the consequence section where you're asking them, hey, Joseph, you told me the goal was to achieve this in the next 6 months. Like, what happens if you miss those targets? Or what are some of the implications that it might have on the business if you're not able to achieve those results or you're not able to hit XYZ by Q4 or whatever their goal was? You know what I mean? Like you just go through the consequence section. And then another clip of you like transitioning into the pitch, which is, that's a little section in its own. It could be a minute or two. And then a couple examples of you pitching, right? And pitching, maybe you add the transition and transition plus the pitch. Maybe that's one clip. And then a big one is a bunch of clips of you doing objection handling. So this is how I handle spouse objection. This is how I handle timing objection. This is how I handle I need to think about it. This is how I handle I need to do research. This is how I handle it's too much money. This is how I handle I don't have the money. This is how I handle, like, you know what I mean? And I would just have a portfolio that they could just scroll through and select anything they want to see me showcasing my skills. And as I do more role plays, I would keep swapping out those clips with better and better and better and better ones as I get better. Um, because and that's the beauty of the Rep Select profile again is that one link is online. So as you update the profile, you don't have to resend things to people as you add better stuff, right? You can also get that same effect with like a Google Drive folder. Rep Select profile is a little bit prettier, but you can send like a Google Drive folder and then swap out videos in the folder if you want to. So yeah, like that's what I would put in it.
That was actually you answered one. My second question was going to be what do you believe recruiters feel is the most uh best platform to view portfolio? Like at first initially I thought is it Loom? Like do they if they're looking at portfolios, do they prefer Loom or do they prefer Google Drive or do they
Well,
prefer
here's the
like
thing.
YouTube
There's not really a standard there because most people don't have one at all. I've
don't have a
maybe had
portfolio?
I've had maybe like one person ever send me like a portfolio when I've posted a job. When I used to work with recruiters at a big sales recruiting company, they loved to see portfolios. They loved to see them. And the only time they got them was because the reps that we were training and placing into the pipeline, we told them to put this together. But nobody was just doing that outside of this, outside of the people we trained to do it. And even then, they weren't putting it together in the clip version that I'm talking about. They were just saying, here's my closer call role plays and here's my setter call role plays,
Do you
which
mind
I think
sharing
you
an
should do
example?
full role plays. Um, an example, like, well, let me see. Like, well, like, honestly, one of the best platforms to put on is if you just put them on your rep select profile, because that's just going to have it the cleanest way. It's going to be the cleanest way. And you can, that's a free part on the platform as well. Like to just have your profile and your portfolio and stuff like that. Like there's no, like you can just build that. and then send that out. Like honestly, that's like you're gonna stand out amongst everyone else if you just do that.
Okay, so that'll be my next test. I need to sign up for Rep Select. I still have I've been meaning to do it, but I've I guess what do you call that?
Yeah, because let me
Um,
pull up what I
bandwidth.
mean. Let me pull up what I mean. So I just put mine together as an example. Hold on. So let me share screen. So here's an example, right? So this is what the share profile would look like. And I just put in a bunch of random information just for an example. But you'd have your profile randomly generated. This is just like a random like TikTok video that I put in there. You'd have your 1 minute video there, like summary there, and then you'd have like a link to like your folder, like, and usually you just link this to a Google Drive video or YouTube unlisted, but if YouTube only lets you do a certain amount of time. So you would just link this to like a Google Drive video, or wherever you want to upload it, Vimeo, Loom, whatever. Um, and that way they can see like, oh, these are your objection mock calls. Okay, these are your discovery examples. Okay, this is your, framing. This is your this. This is your that. This is your that. And you could break it down even more. You don't have to put like a whole folder for objection. You could just put like pain objection, this objection, that objection. Like that's probably how I would do it. I'd separate it. That way they can just, and this, like once you do it, it's like scrollable. So you can have like a ton and then people just like scroll through. Does that make sense?
And you're saying people don't even have those. They don't have like majority of people don't even have a portfolio
Most
like
people
that.
don't. Well, it takes a lot of work to put that together. Like people are lazy. Most people don't do it. I guarantee you, like most people don't do it. You'll stand out if you do it. I promise you, you'll stand out if you do it. Like business owners would love to see that, but most people don't do it. But fair, like to be fair, like most business owners don't ask for it. But if you have it, you'll stand out. I guarantee it. But if they demanded it, they would get a lot less applicants because people aren't willing to like. Most people just don't have that. You know, they just don't have a portfolio like that. But this is like, if you have a track record and experience, like for me, like if I were to go apply for roles, like I wouldn't need it because I have a track record. Would it like help a ton? Yeah, it would. It would seriously help the process, but I wouldn't need it. So that's why a lot of people with experience they don't have it. But this is like for people with like not much experience or no experience, like you got to do anything you can to stand out. And a lot of people they're like, they have like their work at, they work at the grocery store and they put that on their resume and then they apply for these remote sales jobs. And it's like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, it's like business owners are looking at that and they're passing them up because they don't really have anything. They have nothing for them to look at. They have no proof showing they can sell. Like that's what these is about. It's like prove you can sell. You know, if you can't prove you can sell, then you're not going to get the job. So if you don't have like for you, it's super important to track the numbers. But I mean, for you, like even though you set 20 appointments per month, you have no knowledge of the numbers behind that. You know what I mean? So you got to find another way to prove you can sell, and having a portfolio is the way.
That's I had an interview and that definitely came up. It was like, where's your numbers? And that's when I was like, that's why I was kind of leery of actually even sharing because I almost feel like I don't really have any experience because I don't know how to convey that because I didn't track the numbers like I was not in that mind frame, like even like all the calls that I did, I wish I had the mindset of like to record them at that time or I was like, ah, but definitely now I rarely go on a call without recording anything. Now I definitely record a lot more, but I just have to, it's just they're not really I feel like they're not presentable. Like that or I'm not in the best, I feel like I'm not in the best light in a couple of the recordings. So I'm definitely more conscious of that now.
Mm. Well, you just gotta start building this stuff now, you know? It's never too late. And like it's gonna be something that you keep like your portfolio is something that's just gonna keep serving you over time. Like you just keep building it, keep building it, keep building it, keep building it. Like I have screenshots. Like it's just like for me as a business owner. Like I have screenshots of testimonials of people that I did work for like 4 or 5 years ago because all of that stuff gets me paid. If I have no proof that I helped people, people aren't going to pay me to help them. Like, you know what I mean? Like every time someone posts like a win in the community, that helps my business because that's proof that I helped someone, you know? It's things that you have to just you just stack it up. It goes on the hard drive. It's another stack like like Google reviews. Like so many businesses are so focused on like getting reviews. They do whatever they can to get reviews because like when you're looking for a restaurant to go eat at, you usually go to the one that has a combination of the highest and the most reviews, right? It's like that gets you paid. Just like as a sales guy, you're pretty much an entrepreneur selling your sales service to businesses. What gets you paid is your proof that you can sell. And that can be live call examples, role plays, screen, like even if I'm on a team and I'm like closing deals. And you know when you close a deal, like usually they have like something through Zapier that connects to Stripe or whatever the payment processor is. And then like when you process a deal, it comes through like Stefan or Joseph closed deal package this size, revenue this size. Everyone in the chat on your team's like, yeah, good close, man, good job. One call close, piff. Like screenshot that. Like I'm screenshotting that and I'm putting that in my folder, right? Because then the next time I'm on an offer, if you have like 100 screenshots of like deal closed by Stefan, deal closed by Stefan, deal closed by Stefan, yeah, it's going to be easier to get hired. It's going to be easier to get hired. It's your case studies. It's your portfolio. You know what I mean? It's like and then even like anytime you get like a commission check, if I get paid 10K from a business owner for a commission, I'm a closer, I'm gonna screenshot that. Right? There's some business owners that say like show me your commission checks. Like that's because like some people they can say, oh, I've closed here, closed there, but your commission checks don't lie. You know what I mean? Unless you're so unethical that you do like Photoshop and stuff, which is crazy. But you know what I mean? Like commit like if I have a closer who's like showing me role plays that sound good, they're showing me commission checks. Like if you prove like let's say you start making 10K a month on offer, 20K a month on offer. If you prove it and show me commission checks that another company was paying you 20K a month, I know that you probably were generating $200,000 a month for that business. You immediately just proved to me that you could sell because no business is paying you 20K a month if you're not bringing them significant money back. So you immediately just proved to me that you can sell. I'm going to hire you. You know what I mean? So
How,
everything you do in this industry, screenshot it, put like you should have a USB drive that's like the most valuable thing you own. You know? What were you going to say though?
how do you show, because most of my experience come from DM appointment setting. How do you show proof of that? Like,
Screenshot all of the messages where the person says like, "Yeah, I just booked" or something like that. Like literally every single time the person was like, "Hey, just book the call. See you Monday." Da, da. Screenshot all of that. Be like, "Hey, here's all the examples of me setting a bunch of people." Like if you did 20 a month, is it on your personal LinkedIn? You could probably go back and find a bunch, right? Go back and find a bunch. Screenshot as many as you can and be like, "Here is a folder with all of the people I set." You know, and just let the like just scroll through and be like, "Damn, this guy set a lot of appointments. Cool. He can set." It's just about proof. It's just proving it, you know? Because like business owners, like it costs money to bring on a rep. So you want to bring on someone that at least can like prove it to some degree, you know? Like if you're less of a risk, you know, I just need to know you can bring in ROI. And that's why I say beginners should just like jump on a cold calling offer first because there's almost no risk for business owners when they're bringing on cold callers. Cold DM, like the offer you were doing, cold DM setting, like you were nothing but profit for the business. That's why they're willing to bring you on when you had no experience. That's why you were able to set there for a year with no experience because it's cold DM, so there's no risk to to profits by bringing you on. But if you're applying for a role where like most companies are paying anywhere from 10 to $25 per lead, and I'm giving you like 20 to 30 leads a day. I'm spending like 100 something bucks on you every single day. It's like if you don't bring back 200 to 300 to $400 a day, then you're not worth the investment, you know? Now, can you do that? Yeah, probably, but will I be confident that you can do that if you have zero track record of you ever doing that? No, I won't be confident. How could I, like, you know what I mean? It's a risk. And it's even more so for a closer. Like most calls from a VSL, do you know how much they cost, like a cost per call is running a VSL? Does anyone know the average numbers? Like you have to look at it from the business owner perspective. Most businesses spend anywhere from 200 to $600 per call, right? And if we're talking about calls that show up, then yeah, it's probably closer to like $500-600 per call that shows up. And if you don't close it, every call you don't close, the business loses $500-600. You know what I mean? Like, how many people with no track record would you give a chance if you were in that situation? If you knew every week, let's say you take 5 calls a day, right? Let's do the math, right? Let's do the middle $400. If someone takes 5 calls a day at $400 times 5 days a week, that's $10,000. If it cost me 10 grand to fill your calendar every single week, how many of you would hire someone that's like, yeah, I've never closed a deal before? To take that risk, to risk someone for a week and fill the calendar. How many, like, would you guys do it? No, not at all. So we can't expect business owners to do it. So a lot of people are like, oh, these business owners, they always say, like, where's the experience? Where's the numbers? They never want to hire me. It's like, well, can you blame them? Would you hire you? you know, like just keeping you on for a month is 40 grand in the drain if you don't close. Like, not many people want to take that risk, and you can't blame them, you know? So we got to prove to them we can sell, and then they'll be willing to take the risk, you know? So build a track record. Everything will be a lot better. Sound good?
Yep, definitely.
Any other
Thanks.
questions? No, we get to go. We know what we're doing this week.
Yep, look out
What
for
are we
that
getting done this week?
that 1 minute intro video coming soon.
Okay, we're gonna get that done this week. What else? Anything else? It's okay if
I'll
that's
probably
it.
do some mock interviews. I need to go through that or
Solid.
uh,
I'd love for you
some-
to bring some mock interviews to Monday or Friday's call. Love for that. What about you, Stefan? What are you doing this week?
So yeah, tomorrow I have interview, but doing a lot of role plays and especially record role plays. Today I didn't record, and I will try to find opportunities in cold call, as you mentioned. I like this idea, and I will try to find opportunities when I get, I don't know, 1K, 2K, like not some big opportunities, but to start small. So
Yeah,
this
there's
is
even offers that'll pay like not a lot, but they'll pay a couple dollars an hour for cold callers too. There's even people that'll like pay 20 bucks an hour for a cold caller,
yeah,
15
I
bucks
will
an
try
hour for
to
a cold
find
caller.
something like this.
You know what I mean? Pick up something like that, build your track record, and man, getting like once you do that, bro, if you watch that Zach Brown interview with the recruiter, right? What did he say about cold callers? Do you remember?
I watched till 40 minutes, so I
Okay.
don't know. I
So
didn't
if you
catch
didn't
that.
hear it, he said he's a great recruiter in the industry. He recruits for tons of massive businesses in the industry. He said, I will always interview someone with cold calling on the resume because cold calling shows that they have a great work ethic and that they're
Mm,
willing to do the work. Like they're willing to do things that not many people want to do because nobody wants to cold call. Cold calling is not that fun. Like
yeah, that's
it's
true.
like going door to door, cold door knocking. Like I did that for 3 years. You know, it's not fun. It's not like I wouldn't. It's not ideal, especially in Canadian winter. Like look what it's like outside right now,
Oh my God.
right?
Knowing.
Like door to door sales in that is not fun, but I did it. And bro, throwing that on the resume, people are immediately like, "Oh, bro, this guy's willing to do that." Yeah, I think he'll call leads and do follow up and all these other things.
Yeah.
So, bro, cold calling on the resume is huge. It helps a ton.
Yeah, and it's
Helps a
easier
ton. And you don't
to.
have to do it for long either. And dude, if you want to talk like this is one thing I don't understand as well. Is like a lot of people, they're like working their full-time job and they want to get into like, so they want to do like part-time first. If if I'm a business owner and I know that the best time to call leads is within the first 5 minutes, or else usually they get disinterested. They're just not as they don't close at a high enough rate. They don't set at a high rate if you don't call them within the first 5 minutes. And imagine you're spending $20 every single time a lead comes in, and leads are coming in at all times of the day, 9 a.m., 6 a.m., 4 p.m. Like they're coming in at all times of the day, and every single time one comes in, you just spent $20, right? Would you be happy with someone who's like, yeah, I'm going to work my 9 to 5 and then I'll start dialing later? Knowing that the whole time they're working 9 to 5, leads are coming in, they're getting disinterested, and then they start calling your leads when workday is over. Would you be happy with that? No.
No.
So of course those offers are not going to take you. Like,
Yeah.
especially, so if you want a part-time role, there's no easier way to do it than cold call. The freedom you get with cold calling is massive. Because they're like, call whenever you want. I don't care. Bro, if you even set me like every appointment you set is just free game. It's
Is
just
that is that
it's
similar
complete
to DM
profit.
setting?
Yeah, because
Outbound DM
you're just
setting?
yeah, it's like outbound DM saying you're just cold calling. Like the best, like honestly, the best cold calling gigs are where they put like lists together for you. Like they're like, hey, this is our ideal market, and they go on like Apollo IO or Zoom Info, and they put together a list, and they say, hey, this is the list of people I want you to call. Those are the best ones. The ones where they're like, hey, I'm not gonna put together a list for you, just go out and find it. Like those ones kind of suck, because then you got to put together the list and you got to call them. But the ones who like get a CRM for you and they put together a list and they're like they get you on a dialer like Close.io or like Alaware or something. Like those, like there's some pretty solid like cold calling gigs where guys make like 100 200K a year just cold calling. Like there's lots of offers like that, dude. You know, to be honest, that's what like all of the SDR and account executive jobs are. The only difference with those ones is they give you like 70 to 80K or 100K 200K base pays. So those are great, but obviously they want experience as well before they pay you like 200K a year base, right? They're not gonna take someone with no experience. But someone with no experience, it's like commission only, cold calling. You can land those jobs all day, easily.
I'm still
Do
kind
that for
of
90 days. Build the track record. What were you gonna say,
I'm
Joseph? You had a question about that?
I'm yeah, I'm still kind of new to the commission structure for cold calling or outbound. Like I mentioned, it was just an internship.
Mhm.
What's do they pay per appointment you book? Like, do they pay, how does that work, or is it hourly
Some
pay?
do, some don't. Like it's different. Like I've seen there's hourly cold calling. There's pay per show, like pay per appointment cold calling. I actually posted one of reps like the other day with pay per appointment, like $30 per appointment you set. Like, bro, why not? There's pay per appointment. There's hourly. There's pay per appointment and commission on closes, that's a great deal. And then there's just straight commission where they pay you like 5% per close. Now, if I wanted to make like as a cold caller, pay per appointment sounds great. If it's a great offer, like you know what, you can make good money with any of them. You can make good money with any of them. Like the only one I wouldn't think like expect to make good money on is the one that's strictly hourly because like it's just there's no commission, right? If it's hourly plus commission, that's pretty much base plus commission. But again, if it's hourly, then you're not gonna have like the whole part-time thing dial whenever you want. You have to do the hours that they're telling you to do. I'm talking about for strict freedom. It's usually pay per appointment, and it's usually pay per commission, right? Like I know people who have entire businesses that are just pay per appointment show. Like my friend, he runs an email marketing agency. They do over 1 million a year, and all they do is they run email campaigns for businesses and charge the business $200 per appointment. That's it. That's
I
all
would
they
like
do.
to do that, yeah,
And
for the flexibility.
he's worked for like multiple different companies. That's him running his own company, but you can just do that as a solo guy, like where you're just like, hey, I'll book you appointments, you close them, just pay me X amount per appointment I get you. Done. And you can literally just do the same thing you're doing on LinkedIn if you wanted to do DM setting, but you can also do dialing, whatever. You know, there's guys, there's so much options in this industry to do it however you want to do it. Like, don't think there's any like super rigid structure. You know, Just get your track record up however you can, you know, sell ethical things and you'll be good. Sound good?
Another great call.
Massive value, Dagger. It's insane.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I got to run, guys. I'll drop this recording in the community and see you guys on another call. See you guys next week.
Sorry to
Thanks.
interrupt. Do you have on Fridays call as well?
Yeah, it's in the classroom.
Oh, okay.
So if you go to the classroom, there's a course that says live calls, and then you just go down to whatever call it was. So that was like the like role play call. So you just click that, and it's in there.
Yeah, but I can join on Friday if I have time.
Yeah, you can join on Friday. Are you subscribed to Closer Callers? That one's for the subscription ones. I'm not sure if you are.
I'm just subscribed to the jobs.
Just the reps like yeah, that one is for people that are subscribed to Closer Callers. The Friday
Oh,
ones.
okay. No worries.
No worries. Awesome, boys. Well, have a good one. Talk to you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Later.